Big day for Nintendo fans, everyone. They dropped two big new nuggets of information. For one, we have an Indie World coming out later this week. That's exciting. I love indie games, as you all know. I'll likely talk about that after it happens. My prediction, no Silksong. I'm a Silksong denier. Don't think that game is real. Just not gonna happen. But there's a chance that UFO 50 shows up, and that could be a good old shadow drop. That'd be fun. That game's amazing. But more importantly, we got brand new information and a new trailer for Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Star-Crossed World, the longest title in Kirby history. Hell yeah. I don't care what anyone says, man. I'm a big fan of games getting re-released with a plus and then a little bit of new content there. I'm a fan of that. I mean, Mario's done it, Sonic's done it. I don't know, man. Something about getting a good game again that's just a little bit better. But hey, there's also some new stuff. Like, I like that. I don't know. I'm a fan. Keep doing that. The game's coming out later this month. Of course, I'm going to be doing a big video on the main channel about it. Whenever it does, I'm going to play through the entire game again, probably in like 24 hours. But it's really nice to finally get some more concrete info on just what Star-Crossed World is all about, so I want to talk about it for a second. For one, I do want to say that it is a little frustrating, I guess, the whole idea that, you know, so many Switch 1 games, when you pop them into a Switch 2, just inherently run better. That's one of my favorite things about the console. Whether they got a total patch or not, a lot of times games will have faster loading times and better frame rates, and that's honestly incredible. It's given me so much motivation to go back to games that I either, you know, I've played before but not in a while, or just haven't played yet and I'll get a better version. That's really exciting. But what Nintendo's doing here is very similar to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. If you pop in the original Switch 1 game into a Switch 2, you do not get a nice 60 FPS, you just get a really solid 30 FPS. The difference is going to be a lot different when it comes to Zelda. Like, Zelda really needed it. Like, honestly, there were a lot of parts where the frame rate would tank. So for Zelda's case, that's awesome. For Kirby, it's a little bit interesting. The game ran at 30 and it was fine. Didn't really have any complaints with it back on the original Switch 1, but it is kind of unfortunate that if you want to play the game in 60 FPS, you have to get the $20 upgrade pack or just buy the dedicated physical edition. But you know, it's not something that's great. I'm not going to really defend that because so many other games have it for free, basically. But also, if you're a hardcore Kirby fan and you're interested in the 60 FPS stuff, I mean, you're probably going to want this DLC anyway, right? You're going to want the Star-Crossed World. I feel like the amount of people out there who really want 60 FPS Forgotten Land but don't want Star-Crossed World is very small. So it's an annoying thing that we're dealing with the Switch 2 generation, but I guess at the end of the day, is it really that big of a deal? I wanted to get this new stuff anyway. I don't know, just an interesting little nugget of information with the whole Switch to Switch 2 thing. But yeah, man, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, an incredible game, is now going to be looking gorgeous. I don't know exactly what the resolution's going to be. I don't know if it's going to actually hit 4K, but it'll probably still be nicer than it was on Switch 1. And a nice smooth 60 FPS. And just a little bit of gameplay that they've shown in the trailer, it looks nice, especially running around in the desert area and seeing that super smooth, like, oh, it's gonna look nice. I am very excited to play this game through again. I was already kind of wanting to play this game through again, but when they announced that, hey, it's coming out on Switch 2, I figured I would wait, and that anticipation is kind of getting to me because it's a really good game, and I'm excited to go through it again now that I know, like, everything about it. But yeah, the Star-Crossed World stuff, the actual brand new content in this game. So all we knew beforehand when it came to the original debut in the Switch 2 Direct was that, okay, there's gonna be some modified levels and at least one new mouthful mode. Okay, interesting, you know, that there's gonna be new creatures to save and who knows what kind of madness is gonna ensue by the end of the game, and really, that is basically more or less what this is turning into, and it's interesting. I think the way that they explained it's gonna work in the game is once you fully complete the first world, you beat the monkey at the end of the natural plains, then stars are gonna be falling into the world, and now some levels are gonna have starry variants. Whether or not it's the entire game and every single level, I don't know, but a lot of the levels are just, okay, you have the original level layout that you were dealing with before, except for now, there's gonna be this crystal thing that you can break, and when you do, new level forms, and you get to explore brand new parts of already existing areas. So it's not necessarily brand new levels, it's just new areas of existing levels. And I actually kind of like that. It gives me big vibes of Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair of all games, and that was one of my favorite things about that, was that every level had two 2 variants. I think that's a very unique take for a 3D platformer, and you know, when I look at something like the amusement park level, and you get to actually explore all around it by going up above in the sky, I think that's cool. I think there's the potential for some really cool set pieces by just taking a look at existing areas in a brand new light. My main question going into it is just how many new levels there are going to be, you know? Like, obviously the optimist in me wants it to say every single level is going to get a brand new starry variant. That's probably not true. Realistically, that's probably not true. But hey, there's like one new mini boss that they've shown, this little crystallized thing, so it's definitely not empty in terms of brand new stuff. How much is going to be, I don't know. Like, they've already shown, like, hey, when you fight bosses, there's now going to be harder variations of them. Cool. It's all going to culminate in a brand new super hard difficulty of the boss arena. Sick, man. You know, people like to dog on Kirby all the time for being easy, but dude, the hardest versions of all these boss rush modes are insane. So if this is just a harder version of everything we've already had to deal with, that's gonna be nuts. I'm mainly into this for the very nice vibes. I like the blue kind of starry aesthetic, obviously, that everything goes for when it comes to the level layouts. And the new theme song that they put in the background for these trailers, I think is very kind of foreboding. Like, it's very atmospheric, but something about the chanting makes me think that by the end of this, we're going to see something really twisted. I guess I won't spoil it now since it'll be in the new game phase again, but the end of Forgotten Land is kind of crazy. And also the end of the Magalore epilogue was also insane, so if they're able to capture that essence again with whatever the hell's going on, they've already shown like this crazy crystallized structure of one of the big final bads of Forgotten Land. And, you know, there's an elevator at the end of this trailer that shows something's gonna happen. Something crazy's gonna happen, and I'm here for it. But also I'm excited for the brand new mouthful modes. Like, that's gonna lead to some really cool gameplay opportunities, I think. Like, if we're already dealing with pre-existing levels, a nice change of pace is, okay, these pre-existing levels, the new pathways, have brand new mechanics. I love sliding sections in platformers so much. So Sign Kirby, if that's all Sign Kirby is just a means to do sliding, I'm in. I'm so in. That's all I need. Gear Kirby's cute. Okay, you can now do a little bit of traversal on walls. Cool. You know, I'm playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that has a bunch of wall climbing challenges, so that's not entirely fresh for me. I think Springmouth is kind of neat because it's kind of like a 3D adaptation of the high jump ability. So, you know, that's neat. But Sign Kirby, that's what I'm in for. I'm very excited about that. I think that's it for brand new mouthful modes, though. It sounded like there was a pretty confident that there's only 3 new mouthful modes. There could be a big final one, you know, for the final boss, but okay, for gameplay wise, there's only 3. Man, my question is just how much content is in this. That's what I'm most interested in. How much time is this extra, you know, mode gonna take? If I get 3 hours out of this, I think I'll be okay with that, because it's just an addition to already one of the best Kirby games in the franchise. It's not like Forgotten Land was starved for content, so if we just get a really nice new campaign out of this, plus there's new collectibles, and just the whole gacha mechanic is kind of neat, I think this is going to be another win in the Kirby column. Like I said before, this is just kind of a quick rambling thoughts on the new information that we got, because I will be doing a more concise and researched and make sure I get all of my details correct in the main video going on my main channel. Probably early next month, you know, because the game is coming out, what is it, the 28th, late this month? So yeah, early next month, I'm gonna have a nice detailed dive on everything that this game has to offer, so stay tuned for that. I would like to see them take this time to maybe do some more patches for 60 FPS for Switch 1 Kirby games. Like Star Allies, as mid as that game is, a new 60F patch would go pretty hard. And then maybe doing something with the downloadable games. Like, I think there was some kind of patch for Dream Buffet, but that game is still dead as hell. So 60 FPS would just be, you know, a nice bow on a dead game, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I got. Let me know what you think about Kirby and the Forgotten Lands Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Star-Crossed World coming out later this month. If you're gonna buy it, if you're gonna avoid it, if you're waiting to get yourself a Switch 2 maybe later on this year and this will be one of the games you pick up, let me know. And oh yeah, big new detail, there's a new Waddle Dee with a new hat. If you're not sold now, I don't know what will.